Hello, welcome to Have a Tea with me. My name is Chris, and this is the Lesson Jigsaw channel. We are here for English language conversation practice. If you are learning English and you would like to practice your speaking and conversation skills, we are here for you. All you need to do is click on the link that you see in the chat, and we should be able to connect through the studio, and you can come on and we can have a conversation live about whatever you like, whatever you feel like chatting about. You can come on through and we can do that today. So how are you? Today is the 12th of April, Tuesday the 12th of April 2022. I hope you're having a good day wherever you are. Well, it's the 12th of April when this is being broadcast live. So whenever you see this, if you're watching this on the replay, hello. So it may be later than that, of course. I guess it can't be before. That's one thing I know for sure. So maybe it is. You see it the same day. Maybe it's a little bit later or a lot later. Who knows? Who knows? This is, as I say, this is Have a Tea with me. This is our open conversation practice program. We are here every day, Monday to Friday at 12 o'clock Universal Time for English speaking practice. And if at that time is not good for you, if you prefer another time, or you're working or studying or just whatever, doing other things at that time and you're not available, you can always send us an email, chat on lessonjigsaw@gmail.com. And let us know where you are, what time zone you're in, and what days and times you might be interested in chatting. We can see if we can make an arrangement for a time for a live stream to practice your conversation skills. So that's all open to you. So it's live, it's free, and we're here for you. So it's an opportunity for you to practice. If you would like to use it, basically, simple as that. Now, while no one else is here, I tend to practice speaking with myself, as you do. I guess there's not too many other options. So I will have I guess a lone conversation practice, but also sipping a lovely glass of water. Lone. Okay, that's a nice word. Lone conversation. Just in this situation. So lone meaning with no one else. Maybe you know the word alone, which is also by yourself, but lone can be one, or basically means one, but it's basically conversation practice with, in this case, one person. So yes, yeah. So and I think that's the one way to do it. Now, if no one else is here, what I do tend to do is, well, I always encourage people, if you want to practice speaking or conversation, do what you would normally do anyway. I think in a situation. So maybe you're outside and you're watching the world go by, or you're reading a newspaper, or you're looking at some photographs or pictures or something like that. And quite often that's the stimulus or the reason for conversation, or the main subject of conversation, and the conversation moves on and progresses. So I suggest that's a good thing, particularly if you're looking at practicing English and it's a new language for you, or a language you're trying to practice and develop. And when you're looking at something like a newspaper article or a photo or something, think of the question words. Think who, what, when, where, why, how, and any type of question you can create or form. Think of those question words. Maybe start with the basic ones for whatever you're looking at, and then you can go deeper. And I think that's a really good way of stimulating different types of conversation and thoughts that you may go, and the path can go whatever way a conversation goes, like normal. So let's have a look at an example. So here's a photo that we can that we can use today. Now, if we think to our questions, like it's a close-up photo, we can say. Now, what is this person doing, or what's happening in this photo? So clearly it seems to be a person is driving, but they're also using their mobile phone. Now, the mobile phone doesn't actually seem to be on. You can't see any apps or anything working. So the screen is not activated, it seems. But I guess the idea is there that they are using their phone. And so I guess if we're looking at more questions, we could go, why is the person using their phone while they're driving? We've got to ask another question. Is using a mobile or any other device common while a person is driving in your country? Is it just sort of like commonplace and people go, oh yeah, like it happens, and like everyone's like, they can pay attention to the road and the mobile at the same time, no problem. It's a nice word, commonplace. Is it commonplace? Is it commonplace? So does it happen a lot? Is it the normal thing for people to do? Is it commonplace for people to use their mobile phones while driving? I have to say, like when I've traveled or been to different places in the world, it seems pretty common. Even these days. I know like in some countries there's been advertising campaigns and things like that to try and get people not to do that. But it does seem fairly common in some countries. And I see it with people in cars, like in this photo, but also see it like with people on motorbikes, that sort of thing. Sometimes like when they're recording messages, so they're speaking into the phone, giving the messages or whatever, an update perhaps on where they are, their location. I'm only 2 minutes away or something like that. And other times, like it's obviously common for when people are traveling, I guess, to use it in a GPS type function. So to be able to find the route or the path to wherever they're going. So they may have some map app or something that helps them, or gives them directions. And I guess they can have that. Sometimes in some cars, you'll see there are holders. And particularly, I guess the main people you see this with here are like taxi drivers and professional drivers. They have like a full setup. I know. Well, let's ask this as a question. Are there any prevention measures for people driving and using devices like mobiles in your country? Are there any prevention measures? Let's get that question up there. Are there any prevention measures? So prevention, obviously, we have pre. So when you have pre as the prefix, it means before. And that's why it's a prefix, because it's before the word. But prevention is to obviously do something before. And measure is like an activity or thing that someone is doing for something. So quite often we use a measure when we talk about organizations like governments or the police or even companies. Like if they have a particular objective, the path that they use or the policies or the things that they do to try and get to that goal are the measures that they take. So that's a good combination there, to take measures. To take measures, in this case, to, let's say, instead of prevent, let's say to stop people from using their phones while driving. To take measures. So let's say the government is taking measures to stop people from using their phones while driving. And I know in some places, in some places around Australia, I'm not sure if it's all around Australia, but I know certainly in some states in Australia, they have cameras which seem to be able to detect a mobile phone. And I think as they can detect if a mobile phone is maybe moving or being held in some way. I'm not sure exactly how the technology works, but there's something where they can tell that the phone is in use or active or whatever. I think if the phone is just sitting on the dashboard, let's just get that. If the phone is sitting on the dashboard, so the dashboard being let's say the front part of when you're inside the car. So normally the dashboard is giving you information about like how fast the car is going, the petrol, how much petrol is in the car, the oil, the temperature, giving you details about that. And it goes all along. And normally there's a glove compartment. And I guess that name is from perhaps when cars or motor vehicles were originally created, there was a space to put the gloves in we're talking maybe an old-fashioned sort of style. So that's the place where you put your gloves, because I suppose gloves were commonplace again, shall we say. So you have a glove compartment, but you also have like space for things like air conditioning or for the air to move through. So that's the whole sort of dashboard area. Sometimes people say the dash. Sometimes it's abbreviated to dash in a colloquial type of way. And so if the phone is sitting on the dashboard, I don't think they check. I think the technology is able to recognize that it's just sitting there, it's not moving or no one's touching it or things like that. But I think they're able to recognize if it's like in a hand or something like I guess it's perhaps like the angle and I don't know exactly how it works. But yeah, so they have that ability to detect if someone's using it, and I guess that's the main prevention method. So if they find people, they can get a fine or a penalty. Well, a penalty is an example of a penalty is a fine. So any person caught, I won't say person, but I guess it has to be the driver, doesn't it? I guess it's driver or rider, because I suppose it does the same thing for a motorbike. So you're a rider on a motorbike. So any person caught probably would, but could receive a penalty. And normally the penalties, the main penalty, I guess, that people think of, could receive, not D, yes. Could receive fine. So we're talking about money normally. Sometimes there's a points penalty. And I don't know, I suppose, I guess there's, in extreme situations, or perhaps if there's repeated offences, I imagine jail time for repeated offences. That's what I imagine. I don't actually know if that's true, but I would imagine perhaps there's the possibility for jail time, because I guess they're seeing it as a deterrent. So it is marketed as a deterrent. So, right, okay, double R. Spell automatic correction. There we go. Fantastic. So deterrent with double R. So a deterrent is something to deter, is the verb, or to make people think they shouldn't do something and act that way. That means that they don't do it. So if it's a deterrent, people think, okay, I shouldn't do that because I could get a penalty. Maybe there's a fine for, I don't know, $1,000 or pounds or whatever the currency is. And so, okay, I can't afford that, or I need to make sure I don't have that penalty. So I'm going to make sure I don't use my phone, or I don't touch my phone while I'm driving. And that's what a deterrent is. Yeah? So it makes people consciously think, I won't do that. And so I guess these are generally the main penalties. I guess you can have other types of penalties as well. You have things like community service and whatever else, but I'm not sure for this particular thing if that's the penalty that they would give. So certainly for a penalty in relation to money, points, I don't know, I assume points is a system that's used around the world, but you tell me if not. So normally there would be an amount of points when you first get your driver's license. You have an amount of points, and because sometimes mistakes happen and things happen, so they allow some mistakes, let's say. And so I don't know, if you're meant to stop at a stop sign, but you didn't come to a complete stop, maybe you just slowed down, but you didn't stop fully, and the police catch you, maybe you get, let's say, a penalty of 2 points. So let's say you started with 10 points, you lose 2 points, then you have 8 points. But if you do that 5 times, so a total of 10 points, and you lose all the 10 points, you lose your license for, I don't know, an amount of time, maybe 6 months or a year or whatever. And it works sort of like along those lines. And I can't remember exactly, but I think it may be different where you live, I'm not sure, but I think the points where I am, I think the points are reinstated, if you like. They return after 3 years. So let's say if you do something today, let's say it's the 12th of April, 2022, and you go through a stop sign and you lose 2 points. On the 12th of April, 2025, those 2 points go back onto your license. So instead of having 8 points available, you would then have 10 points again. So it can potentially return back to normal. So if you make a couple of mistakes and then are a good driver after that, so you learn from those mistakes, then you go back to the full complement. The full complement of points. What was the other word I used? I can't remember. Anyway, okay. All right. So I mean, that's certainly a possibility in different places. I'm not sure what the rules are where you are, and I assume the rules can be very local in some places. So maybe the rules are national where you are. Maybe the rules are for like a state or a region, or maybe the rules are something else. Maybe just like for a town, even perhaps a town or a city. I'm not sure how different countries are organized. I guess there's two things. It's where the rules are made, and then how the rules are enforced. So enforced is like when the police actually take action for those rules. Okay. So just a reminder, this is Have a Tea with me. And my tea has cooled down enough so I can sip it. I'm having a beautiful lemongrass tea today. Yes, this is Have a Tea with me on the Lesson Jigsaw channel. We are here every day from Monday to Friday at 12 o'clock Universal Time. We are here for English language speaking and conversation practice. So if you are learning English and you want to practice your speaking and conversation skills, we are here for you. All you need to do is to click the link that you see in the chat. Now, certainly if you see the chat on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, you can see the link and you should be able to come through. If you're watching on Twitter, I don't think you don't see the link there. So you'd have to go to one of the other three. But certainly if you click on that link, you can come on through to the studio and practice speaking, practice your conversation skills here. So I'm going to have another sip while we consider that. All right. And just a note as well. I mentioned this at the start, but if 12 o'clock Universal Time is not good for you, and you're seeing this on the replay, hello. Thank you for watching. If you send us an email, chatonlessonjigsaw@gmail.com. Let us know where you are, what time zone you're in, and what days and times might be more suitable for you. Then we might be able to see if we can find a day and a time that's a little bit better for you to do a live stream and some conversation practice with you. I say conversation, it depends on what you need. Maybe you have an interview and you want to practice answering some questions for an interview, or you want to practice different types of situations. All of those things are available to you. So just let us know if what you want to do. And I guess if there's something specific that needs sort of any preparation, I guess, let us know beforehand, I guess. So send us an email beforehand. But otherwise, we can try our best to see what we can do. Okay, so that's there for you. So today we have been talking about this photo and the driver. So now that person is sitting, I think they're sitting, it's the right-hand side of the car. So that means they are, what does that mean? That means they drive on the left-hand side of the road. Is that right? I think that's right, isn't it? So wherever they are, they would sit. So they drive on the left-hand side. I think that's the correct thing. I think you sit on if it's a two-way road, the driver sits on the side closest to the dividing line. So the driver would pass another driver. I think that's right, isn't it? I think that's right. Although it could be the complete opposite. It's completely wrong. But I think that's right. I think that's the way. So if the driver's on the right, the driving is on the left, and the driver's on the left, the driving is on the right. I think I have that right. Yes. Anyway, that's the idea there. That's the idea there. So, all right. So we have different, I guess, vocabulary or expressions and combinations of words that we've noted here. We've got some sentences and parts of phrases and that sort of thing here. As always, I suggest that if you have a list of words that you want to practice, try and I guess have a list of, or refine the list. So make the list smaller to, let's say, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 words that are either more common or a higher priority for you for whatever reason. Maybe you need to use them in some specific situations coming up, so it's a higher priority for the moment, perhaps. But maybe, like I say, they're words that you need to use maybe every day or something, or during your normal interactions with different people or in different situations. So prioritize like maybe 4 or 5, and then try to actively use them. Of course, the situation needs to be appropriate. You don't just come out with random sentences. So the situation and context should be appropriate, but you should be trying to write and speak with those words or phrases, sentences, whatever they are. So writing and speaking. And trying to do that every day. So when you say, oh, okay, so maybe 5 words, that's not very many. I can read an article and have a list of 20 words, and maybe that is true. But I don't know if maybe you can. I mean, but to consistently learn, say, I don't know, 20 words a day or something like that, I think is difficult. So I would encourage you more to learn, like I say, 4 or 5 words, and try and do that every day. And then as the days follow on, you keep doing that, but still trying to incorporate the other words. So still, making sure you're using the other ones, but you need to actively use them. Just having the words come in, or listening to them, or reading them in a book and then writing them on a list, I suggest is not really learning them. That's making a note of them. But to learn them and to make them part of your English language communication ability, you need to use them. It has to be active. It has to be active. It's the same as if you want to, I don't know, do a particular move or do a particular skill, say with a sport, football or whatever, that sort of thing, or for a particular music instrument. You want to do a combination of notes, perhaps. So you need to keep practicing. So maybe you need to like a wind instrument, you need to blow in it. You need to practice the strength that you blow and how much you release from your mouth and I don't know, whatever different things. So you need to actually practice those things. So watching someone do that or reading about someone doing that, okay, could be interesting and could be helpful, but it doesn't actually help you. You need to actually do those things. So that's what I would encourage, to actively do that. And so, as we say, 4 or 5 words may not sound much, but at the end of the week, what's that? Like 35 odd words. When I say odd, so it's like, odd is like approximately in that situation. It's a nice word. So maybe that's 35 odd words. So I'm saying it's 35 words, but here odd is basically meaning approximately. So it's like, and I say odd because people are, tentative with maths. I guess we could say that people don't like to be specific with maths when they do it in their head, and that sort of thing. So we might say odd to meaning they're giving a rough amount. So they're not saying it's exact. So maybe in this case, you could say maybe some days it's 4 words, some days it's 5 words, maybe it's 6 words one day, whatever. But at the end of a week, it's approximately 35 words, along those lines. But if it's like 4 every day, it's a different number, of course, and whatever. So, but then you look at the end of the year, and you look at the number, and it's pretty impressive. And if you're regularly practicing those words, So as you get to day 300, the words from perhaps days 1 to 30, at least, should be pretty well set. And maybe you're not using them every day, but maybe you're using them once a week. Yeah, so it's getting spread out a bit more, but they're accessible to you and you're able to use them. So I think it's using techniques like that, or a strategy like that, trying to incorporate different words and different language into, in this case, learning English and your English ability. Whew, okay, so that's my suggestion anyway. That's what you can do. It's an option, but I think it's a good one. So because if you try and do too much, sometimes you go, that was a lot, and then you practice once a week because it was so heavy, and it discourages you from doing a little bit each day. And so lots of little steps perhaps are more sustainable. Everyone's individual, of course, but perhaps they're more sustainable. But yeah, that's up to you. Your own choice. But let me know in the comments what ways or what techniques you use. Okay. So again, a reminder, this is Have a Tea with me. We are here for English language speaking practice. If you want to practice your speaking and conversation skills, we're here every day, Monday to Friday at 12 o'clock Universal Time, approximately 12 o'clock Universal Time. And yeah, anyone can join us if you want to. If you're learning English and you want to practice, and you need that a different place perhaps to practice speaking, or to practice different situations, or a role play perhaps, depending on what you need, we can certainly arrange that for you. And don't forget, if there's anything, or if there's a different time that you prefer, or you want to talk about something specific that needs preparation, send us an email, chatonlessonjigsaw@gmail.com. Okay, we're going to leave it there for today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, following, liking, all of those sorts of things. Much appreciated. So you can see this on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So wherever you are, thank you for watching. And I hope you have a great day, great 12th of April, staying happy, staying healthy, and we'll see you next time.